Good afternoon, everybody. We're going to open the meeting up today with the Finance Committee meeting agenda, April 18th. We're going to have one of our commissioners, Rod Dressel, who is chairman of the Finance Committee, to go through the Finance Committee itself. Mr. Dressel?
Start. Okay. Well, there are three people on the Finance Committee, Rich Geratine and Joe Rancho, who is absent today, and myself. So Rich and I will carry on. First, we have to adopt the minutes from our last meeting, which was on March 21st, which pretty much tells about how we went through the internal audit and from the auditor's report, which all went smoothly. And so we moved to approve the minutes.
I moved the minutes, yes.
And we both agree to move the minutes.
We got a
Saying
second.
aye with no
We got
opposition.
to second it first.
We got a second. Oh,
You have to second it.
I have to second.
All right.
Okay. And we're both in favor of it.
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
And the only item on the agenda today is the operations report, Q4 2012. It has a lot of information in it, and anything we really need to know about the finances, pretty much, our totals anyway, of the Bridge Authority are here. It's nice to see. I think somewhere here I saw us, we took in about 50 million, and we spent about 50 million. Is that my figures about right? Or 200?
53.8 million we took in.
Where'd I have the light line here? Anyway, I think this is just to be information to be submitted to the board. There will be no need for board action. And so, do you have any other discussion on it too?
I'd like to move it.
Move, okay. I'll second it. We're both in favor of submitting it to the board.
That's
for
correct,
their
yeah. Mm-hmm.
information. And that, you don't have any other business, I don't either. So are you
Motion to
moving
adjourn,
close
yeah.
and
Motion to adjourn, yes.
Second it. The meeting, our, I think it's what, second of the year, Finance Committee meeting is adjourned. And we can go on, Rich, you can go on with this.
Very good, thank you.
We need to do an audit one as well.
This is with the single audit and the management discussion and analyst financial statements, they're both independent audits. We got two audits that we're going to move.
No, those were last month. So this is just the audit committee meeting?
We have to go and get the following audit.
Right, the audit.
Yeah, but the two items you mentioned were from last month. I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Are they? Actually, I'm sorry, yes. Okay. Thank you, Brian. All right, audit committee?
Sorry, did you have, did I leave
No,
you
no,
out of our
No.
committee meeting?
We're good.
Call the meeting to order. We'll adopt, we adopt the minutes of the March, sorry, it's Vane Lashua and Roger Higgins are members today. We're missing a man who retired. Member who retired. Anyway,
I'll move to adopt the minutes of the March 21 meeting.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're here to look and submit the operations report to the full committee, and reading through it, looks healthy, and our auditors have approved it, so I move we submit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So I don't think there's any other business on the agenda. Oh, the 2012, I'm sorry, implemented process improvements. And
So basically, the two findings we had from the internal auditor, both items, actions have been taken and are now in effect, so that those issues are no longer a concern.
okay, they've been addressed
Yes, they have.
by.
Yes. The first one was related to fixed assets and the lives. The auditor felt that there was the ability or the risk that The staff accountant could technically assign the wrong life accidentally or an error. A review is in place now to, have a review monthly over the assigned life of the fixed asset. The second item related to an inconsistency in the documentation of toll revenue deposits. There was a slight inconsistency in terms of which items were signed off on by the toll collectors. That it was a variation between bridges because we chose the stronger, or what we felt was the strongest approach to it. We had our acting manager of toll audit do a cycle through all the bridges, and we'll begin doing cycles once every 6 months to ensure the consistency of the deposit process at all facilities.
Thank you very much, Brian. And so I move we forward it to the committee.
Second?
George, and
All in favor?
favor?
Aye. Any other business?
Not for me.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to start with our normal business meeting, our April 18th meeting. We have here today various commissioners, Commissioner Rod Dressel, Commissioner Dane Lashua, Commissioner Roger Higgins, our counsel, Mr. Whitbeck, our executive director, Joseph Ruggiero, and myself, acting chairman, Richard Gerantine, and also Tara Sullivan is down at the New York City at a minority workshop conference that is accepting an award for the New York State Bridge Authority regarding MOBs. MWBs, I'm sorry. I know it was some kind of abbreviation. With that, we'd like to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting.
Move to adopt the minutes of the March 21 meeting.
Second. Any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next.
Engineering.
Well, we have a single item agenda for you today, just our jobs in progress report. A lot of activity at Newburgh, barges are in the river, they're rigging the containment for the paint, and survey crew and rest of the field mobilization for the South Span deck. Office trailers are in place, everything's moving on schedule. We hope to see the first deck panel go in sometime after the 4th of July. Nothing else
I
really.
was going to ask about was there any resolution of the walkway boundaries, what we have to maintain, what the state has to maintain, and if we, the wall was fixed a couple of months ago, and Rod had some discussion about it, and I just wanted to find out what was going on, if there's any.
Well, we agreed to fix the wall. You guys voted to spend the money, but the walkway group hadn't cleared it with their environmental review, historic preservation, la-da-da-da-da. So in the subsequent time frame, our contract with Slutsky's expired. So, we're probably not going to spend the funds the way you authorized them. As time passes and the walkway gets their permits in place, we'll have to revisit that whole task and see if it's still. There'll be a lot of time in between.
Did I miss that in a meeting? Or
No.
I didn't.
No, that just kind of happened because the contractor is finishing up the steel repairs. He had done the deck repairs last year, so it was an easy concrete job for him.
Move it over.
So, okay, it's not a concrete job anymore. He's doing steel, but he would still be able to manage. But if he demobilizes from the site and goes back to Hunter, and now we want him to come back to fix a little bit of that concrete wall, it's not going to work. But that's still pending.
You could have the Bridge Authority walkway party then.
Right. And there's some trees that are still trying to be removed, so the scope of work is still somewhat. They really want to improve that Washington Street entrance,
Yeah.
and whatever they can do, whatever limits they have, seem to be somewhat changeable.
I'm sorry for taking so long, but thank you for the explanation.
Anything else? If not, we have a
Resolution on the
resolution on
jobs
the
So moved.
second.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor say aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Brian again. Investment report, please.
Yes, the March investment report, there were 13 investments in the month. The large number is attributable to, back when we received the bond proceeds, we made large investments at the earlier part of the year until we could figure out what our cash requirements forecast would be. So as one of the larger maturities in the construction fund matured in this month, we scheduled it out based on revised cash requirements. Overall, yields still remain fairly low. If you turn to the investment inventory page, right now we're looking at approximately 103, 104 million in the maintenance and construction funds, and yield overall was up slightly over prior month.
Someone make
Move the resolution?
second? Second. Discussion? Roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item up is the Accident Review Committee report for the first quarter 2013. There were 33 accidents on authority facilities in 2013 compared to 21 in 2012. As it relates to authority personnel, we had one accident involving authority personnel compared to a prior year of 0. This information is solely for information purposes. There is no board action required.
Any reason why we had probably 11 more than last year?
You know, it seems to fluctuate, and it's not really clear. Sometimes it's weather dependent. This year, it was, I mean, possibly, but there really was no clear cause that we could identify.
We weren't doing any construction to maybe cause some concerns or?
Not that I'm aware of. We didn't, I don't believe there was anything directly that we could directly attribute it to it. It seems to fluctuate up and down each year without a lot of consistency.
Next, quarterly operations report, fourth quarter.
Okay, as discussed in both the committees, essentially this is a more detailed version of the annual report that was provided last month, just showing where we stood as it relates to each individual facility, along with the overall picture compared to budget. In forecast, traffic increased 0.43%. As previously stated, revenue is a $53.8 million, 44.52% increase from the original traffic consultant reports. We had expected to see approximately 42% increase, so we did a little better there. What we're seeing is a small increase in passenger with a decrease in commercial. Overall operating expenses show a $727,000 increase year over year related to various items noted in the report. Operating expenses budgeted for 2012 were $29 million. We came in at 28.4. And budgeted capital improvement costs for the year were $20.9 million. The revised capital improvement program, we had expected $18.3, and we still came in at $20.7, and that was primarily to the acceleration of jobs as the capital program was reconfigured over time in the last year.
Any questions? If not, no action required. Ryan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I move, well, that's right, it's not a resolution.
Mr. Greg Hurd.
Good afternoon. I have one item today. We are looking to purchase an enterprise network switch. These switches are the devices that connect all our computers together and allow for facility-to-facility communications. The equipment we have in place now, some of it is approaching 13 years old, and over time, as we've expanded, we've patched new pieces of equipment in, so we have 4 or 5 different pieces of equipment. The enterprise switch will consolidate everything into one single, more efficient device. We went out onto state contract and solicited from 3 different companies that can sell the equipment through state contract. NYSBA and Associates came in at $38,903.70, which was the highest of the 3 quotes. However, they are an MWBE, and our policy now allows us to purchase if the price is within 10% of the lowest price. So they came in 9.1% higher than Presidio at $35,460. So at this point, we're asking the board to approve the award to Anise and Associates at $38,903.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second, already second. Any discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Next, more operations reports to the board from the executive director. We have 3 reports. Joe, you want to
The
mention?
monthly expense report with no expenses on it. You have your traffic and revenue analysis report. It's showing for the third straight month in a row of the year that traffic is still declining. Year-to-date revenue is still above last year, mostly because of this reporting. January, you had a full month of a toll increase this year versus 2 days last year. If the trend continues, on an average of 3.5% for the remainder of the year, we may just hit the target of our $53 million in revenue. If traffic continues to decline at a rate of 4% a month for the remainder of the year, then there's a potential of having a $2 million shortfall in projected revenue by year's end. So we're monitoring it closely, and hopefully in the spring months traffic will pick up, and therefore revenues will stabilize for the rest of the year. I pass that information along up to Albany just so they're aware of some trends we are seeing.
What really surprised me was the ratio of traffic to revenue is almost a little over $1, $1.20, 25, something like that. And I was thinking of the commercial traffic, you would think it would be more, the average would be higher, but I guess because of the commuter, I don't know what. It was interesting. to
Commercial
look at.
traffic is what, 10% of the traffic creates 1/3 of the revenue.
Right.
So it's the different axles and the different tolls.
Right.
Whereas passenger cars, it's one flat toll repeated versus.
Well, increased Easy Pass too is probably a factor.
Well, we're looking at that now. We're looking to see, we are a victim of our own success by promoting Easy Pass. We don't see that to be the case yet. We don't have enough data points, but we're looking at that. And the goal is to move as many transactions onto Easy Pass for a long-term benefit. But right now, we're not seeing that being a problem, but the bleed, if you will, in the revenue. And the last thing is the analysis of the Easy Pass sales, and they still continue to happen in the lanes very aggressively, and it almost seems like every couple of days we're ordering more Easy Pass tags. We can't keep them in stock, so it's going good.
All right. Any questions for Joe? If not, Bob?
Afternoon. Our Easy Pass equipment provider, CAPS Trafficom IVHS Incorporated, sent us a letter identifying its intent to perform a internal consolidation of 3 of its non-operating entities with its parent corporation, CAPS Trafficom Holding Corp. Under the terms of our existing contract with CAPS, there's a non-assignment clause which requires them to obtain written consent from us in order to effect such a transaction, and they have to seek that consent from each of the Easy Pass member agencies. So counsel's office, Chris Shaw, took a look at this and determined that it will have no practical effect on any of the terms and conditions of our existing contract with them, and so we're recommending by resolution that you authorize us to go ahead and give them acknowledgement and consent in written form of this intent.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Parent company's out of Austria, huh?
Yeah, their parent.
Good to have a local business.
We have a new
Minority
business.
women.
We have a new business that's before us tonight or today. Basically, our executive director, Joe DiGiurio, has been asked to serve on the newly formed Grinnell Library District in the town of Washington in Dutchess County. His position is non-compensated. It's elected to the Grinnell Board of Directors with a 1-year term. We just had some concerns. We had discussions with attorneys. We had discussions with Albany. Suggestion is that we, as a board, have no problems with this, that we would make a request for this to be reviewed by a JCO for its consideration, and upon its approval, would allow our executive director to be serving on that board. Joe, you want to add anything to that? Okay. We have a resolution here to move that forward.
So moved.
Lane, second?
Second.
Roger. Any other discussion? If not, roll call. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
We also, yesterday, we had a presentation by Dutchess County Chamber of Commerce regarding the Tappan Zee Bridge. The Hudson Bridge Authority was present there with various staff members, myself and Vane, and it was an excellent presentation by Tom Madison, who used to be one of the commissioners of the board itself. Very aggressive schedule. Hopefully they can maintain it and be on schedule. They're putting it in motion, and we'll find out if that motion is going to continue, but it was very interesting.
He's a terrific presenter.
Mhm.
He did a
Good
great job
speaker.
of putting it
Sure.
together.
Anything else? If not, the next meeting is May 16th at 3 o'clock. Motion to adjourn. Nobody wants to leave? Oh. Is Dressel, yes, second? Lane?
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, thank you for coming.